Give me just 21 days and I will change your body. I'll jumpstart your fat loss, tighten your waist, and get your momentum back in peri and menopause. And I'm going to keep it easy and start with just 2 changes. But first we need a foundation, because without the foundation, you'll keep thinking you're doing everything right, but the scale is not moving and you will stay stuck. I'm keeping this video very simple and honest, and we all need a little tough love sometimes, including myself. If you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Maria, and I share my real life and midlife. This channel is all about health, wellness, and mindset, helping women to step into this chapter of their life and make it the best one yet. Now for a little tough love, we're not blaming menopause. Menopause did not break you. It's just that your systems are outdated. What worked for you in your 20s and 30s are no longer serving you, but I will help you fix that starting now. First and foremost, we have to talk about the first fundamental of this strategy, and that is nutrition. Your nutrition will move the needle faster than any fancy morning routine, supplement stack, or biohacking magic. It's all about how you nourish your body, and if your food is not locked in, none of this other stuff even matters. So this is where we have to start, and we need to track our food. This is absolutely essential to creating a baseline and knowing what has gotten us to the point that we're at right now. And if we don't get a full understanding of where we're at, we won't be able to change it from there. I'm going to make tracking extremely simple for you, and that is to download an app. I used to do this the old-fashioned way, write down everything I wrote, calculate it myself, look up the calorie count and all that detail, because honestly, I didn't want another app on my phone, but they're truly a godsend. I have downloaded Chronometer and MyFitnessPal. You can absolutely use the free versions. You do not need to upgrade either one of them. I've been logging food into both of them, trying to just test them out a little bit. So far, I'm finding that I'm liking MyFitnessPal a little bit better. It seems a little more user-friendly. However, Chronometer allows you to scan the barcode of your packaged items and it pulls up the information for you right away. Whereas MyFitnessPal requires the upgraded version for you to be able to do that. And although I do really love that feature on Chronometer, I find that the rest of the information is a little hard to enter and put in. So I think I'm sticking with MyFitnessPal for now. But what you're going to do is download one of these apps, and immediately it asks you for your height, weight, your energy level, like your activity level, because it's wanting to create the BMR for you. That is the basal metabolic rate. That is the minimum amount of calories that your body needs just to sustain, just to carry its metabolic function and to just keep you in your happy-go-lucky, perfect metabolic state. So for this first week, I don't want you to worry about cutting calories or starting a diet or a deficit or anything like that. This first week is simply about creating the foundation, finding your baseline, tracking everything that you're eating, as well as everything you're drinking, everything from your breakfast, lunch, and dinner to your snacks in between, to your smoothie at lunch and your latte in the morning and your glass of wine at night. Every little thing that goes into your body has to be tracked. This is the only tried and true way that we can get an honest and really upfront view of what we're consuming. To help you properly track your food, of course, you have to weigh it or measure it in advance so that you know what to type into the app. You can get yourself a super cheap scale on Amazon. I have one that maybe cost $15. It's a plug-in with a rechargeable battery. It's super cheap. It's not even the best one around. In fact, I have to charge it every 3 days because it loses its battery so quickly, but whatever, it works. And if you don't want to get a scale, you can use your measuring spoons and your measuring cups and get a general idea that way about how much you're actually putting into the meals that you're creating. If you're going out to eat, do your best possible guess of estimating the amount of food that you're taking in and just do the best you can. Tip number 2, make sure you're also measuring the calorie dense stuff that we often overlook. Maybe it's the little bit of olive oil you're adding to your dressing, or it's the tablespoon of butter you're adding to your scrambled eggs in the morning. These things add up and they're very crucial to getting a full picture of how much you're consuming. Other things like nuts, nut butters, seeds, the cream in your coffee in the the morning, the little bit of grazing off your kid's plate or grazing while you're cooking dinner, your glass of alcohol, your piece of chocolate in the evening as your little evening snack. That's me. Another tip, it helps to track in real time. So as you're eating your meal, take a quick second and log it into your phone or write it down on a notepad and log it in later. If you wait till the end of the evening to log in all your information, you're going to forget half of it and it's not going to be accurate. So for this first week, you're basically just tracking your normal. This is your normal habits and your normal eating pattern. Think of it as collecting evidence and learning about your food patterns and your food schedule and how and when you eat throughout the day. And remember, if you're eating healthy but you're not losing weight, tracking like this is going to help you pinpoint where exactly you might be going wrong. And every item of food, every calorie you consume, they're all real calories and everything counts, even in small amounts. As you're setting up this app, you're going to see that it's going to ask you what your target weight is and how much weight you want to try to lose in a given week. Don't worry about any of that right now. If you enter that information, I want you to ignore it. I really want you to just focus on tracking your food and seeing what it adds up to at the end of the 7 days. Quick pause here to ask you if you're enjoying this video so far and finding it helpful. Please take a quick second and give it a big thumbs up. It truly helps the channel out and lets YouTube know that you're enjoying it. And if this content resonates with you, please take a second and subscribe so that you don't miss my next video. Okay, a week has passed. You've logged in all your food, tracked every meal, every bite, and every drink. And now it's time to look at the data and do a little bit of an analysis. But first, I have to call attention to this darling little cup. Look how absolutely gorgeous this is with the little Peter Rabbit on it. It is so cute. I picked it up at Home Goods and it's absolutely darling. I have to admit it is impossible to drink from it without stabbing my eye, but I still love it and it just brings me joy. I digress. Once you've tracked your meals for the entire week, you have to spot the patterns. How many calories did you consume a day and what is it in comparison to the BMR that the app has created for you? Are you within range? Are you far above it? Or are you far below it? If you find that you are far above your BMR, then we can definitely work together. If unfortunately you found that you are consistently falling under your BMR, I don't suggest that you go into any more deficit than you are in already. Going any lower could be very unsustainable. Perhaps it could be helpful to listen to the rest of this video because there are changes that you can put in place, but without going into further deficit. This might also be a time to consult a professional for more information. For those of you that are consistently over your BMR, we have definitely room to play with, but I want you to spot some patterns. Does your food log show that you are grazing throughout the day? Does it show that your breakfasts are most heaviest? Does it show that perhaps you are not eating really anything during the entire day and then you're going crazy at night with eating all your calories then? What kind of pattern are you seeing there? And is it something that you are comfortable with or want to kind of hone in on and fix? Are your meals carb heavy? Sugar heavy? Are you eating enough protein? We'll get to that in just a second. What does your daily fiber intake look like? Could you have made some healthier choices in the week? I know oftentimes when I'm tracking my food, I often end up making better decisions simply because I'm tracking it and I need to record it. And it's almost like I'm already being accountable to something, even though it's an object. It still kind of makes me feel like I need to do a little better. So let me know if you were kind of feeling that way as well during this entire week. Next up, we're going to set our target weight and the amount of weight that we want to strive for losing each week. I think we should start at half a pound a week. I know it doesn't sound like much, but our main goal here is really body recomposition. And I'll get to more of that in just a few minutes later in this video. But I think we should start with 0.5 pounds. That equates to about 250 less calories per day. So let's say you were consuming 1,800 calories in a day, you would reduce that amount by 250. And that would be your new amount of calories to strive for each day. Could you do 1 pound a week? Well, that's roughly 500 calories less per day. For many midlife women, that could feel a little like punishment. I know it probably would be for me. And oftentimes it leads to rebound eating and sometimes even just giving up and scrapping the entire idea altogether. So I say better off to start off slow and you find that it is easy and very attainable and you want to progress from there, then And yes, I'd say definitely progress from there. So I'd say start at 0.5 if you want to meet in the middle and do 3/4 of a pound a week. Do what feels right for you. Overall, I just want this to be a very doable deficit that doesn't leave you starving, doesn't feel like you're depriving yourself of anything. We're really striving for success here and building habits that we could build further later on. Okay, so week 2 and 3 is where we start implementing these transitions, these changes that are going to move the needle. Now that we've collected all the data and we see what our baseline is, and we see what our consumption is, not even so much worried too much on all the macros, I'm really concerned with protein. I want you to prioritize protein and make that a priority in every meal. Protein makes you feel full longer. It is so amazing for feeling satiated. If I have a big breakfast full of lots of protein, it barely makes me want to eat lunch in the afternoon. I'm almost having to force myself to eat an extra meal just to ensure that I'm getting enough calories in the day, because honestly, protein is just so satiating. So I think it's an excellent way to start the day and to start every meal, honestly. At a minimum, I want you to aim for 100 grams of protein per day. Ideally, the best amount of protein is to calculate 1 gram of protein per body weight. For example, I'm 145 pounds at the moment, so I would strive to have 145 grams of protein a day. I know in most cases that sounds a bit high. It is quite attainable if you structure it properly, but at the very least, I want you to aim for 100, if not more. Also, protein helps you retain your muscle while trying to go through a fat loss journey. It's not going to help you build muscle or get muscle out of nowhere, because you do need to challenge your muscles and build strength and weight train in order to do that, but it will reduce the chances of sarcopenia as you're going through a fat loss journey. And especially through the menopause transition, women tend to be a little more insulin resistant, so protein becomes very helpful because constant snacking and a diet full of processed starches and heavy carbs keeps glucose constantly cycling and cravings constantly coming back, and protein will really help curb that. The best thing to do is plan 3 meals that are fulfilling and satiating for the entire day. Your protein target should be between 25 to 35 grams a day, and snacking should be at 0 during this time. If you do want to snack, make it very, very intentional by weighing it, measuring it, and making sure that it's tracked into your food log. Believe it or not, protein is a lot easier to add into your meals than you think. Breakfast could be Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese. For lunch, you can add some tuna or salmon or even chicken breast onto your salad. For dinner, go for a beef bowl or a chicken stir fry. Oftentimes, I tend to repeat my breakfast for dinner, and I usually have scrambled eggs for dinner with a side of roasted vegetables. It's really quite easier than you think. Here's what I'd love your ideal plate to look like for each meal. Half of it should be some fibrous veggies, lots of greens and colorful vegetables. Protein should be at least the palm of your hand, if not larger. If you'd like to add a starchy veggie on top of that, keep it very minimal, maybe just half a cup. Also use fat sparingly, opting for healthier choices like olive oil or avocado oil, raw nuts or seeds, or dry roasted without any added oils. I actually prefer MyFitnessPal for this because you can actually override the information, where I have not been able to do that on Chronometer. So for that reason, I'm recommending this app instead. Now what you'll do is you'll go into your app, go to the More button, you'll go to Goals, and then this is the information you entered when you first started with the app. And I'm going to ignore all this because you're going to override the calorie count. And by doing that, you go to Nutrition Goals, Calorie, Carbs, Protein, and Fat Goals. I took my full week's calorie count divided by 7, and then I subtracted from that 250 calories because I want to lose 0.5 pounds a week, and that is the number I came up with. So all you do is you click on that number, and you could enter whatever number you want in there as far as what your new number is. And it is going to read that. It's not going to subtract anything or add anything. That's the number it's going by. That's going to be your default number. Then you will hit the check button to confirm that. And then I'd like you to change your macros here, adjusting your protein to be at least 100 grams per day. I put mine at 125. I currently weigh about 145. I think 145 is a little high for me. I just want to put but I'll aim for it. However, I just want to put the minimum that I want to strive for in the day. For me, it's 125. Just click on the percentage here. This menu pops up. Just adjust these numbers until the protein grams goes up to 100 or 125, 130, whatever you want it to be. And you have to reach 100 at the bottom. So when you adjust the protein, if you're increasing it, you're going to have to decrease something here. I don't like to go below 30% on fat. So basically, if you're changing the protein, you can just adjust the carbs to compensate for whatever the difference is. Between the seeds and the nuts and the little bit of olive oil or the cream I put into my coffee, this fat number really quickly climbs up to the designated number. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And that is your new configuration of what you're looking for. Yours might look different from mine. Change number 2 is that I am asking you to move your body just a little bit more each day. Not anything intense, nothing crazy. Don't go getting 25-pound weights and hurting yourself and all that. I want you to just take it easy. If you currently have a workout routine or a fitness routine already in place, continue doing that. That's fabulous. That's wonderful. I'm so happy that you're already doing that. If you are sedentary and not very active at all and really not moving your body all that much, I need you to make a little bit more of an effort. Aim for a 20-minute walk each day. It's really not that much, but it makes a tremendous amount of difference. You could break it up into 2 10-minute walks, maybe a walk in the morning and a walk after dinner, or try to go out midday during your lunch break and get a 20-minute walk out right then and there. Make other conscious decisions to be a little more mindful of just getting up, standing up, walking, moving. The less you're sitting down, the better. Park farther away from your appointments and meetings and running errands and have that much more to walk. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. When doing chores around the house, try to stretch out your tasks a little bit more. I was recently listening to a podcast and I heard this brilliant idea, which I thought was really great. This lady was talking about doing her laundry, and she said a great way that she gets extra steps in is that she takes one item from the laundry, folds it, and brings it into the bedroom to put it away. Then she goes back into the laundry room, gets another piece, folds it, and brings it back into the bedroom to hang it. So she was basically creating steps out of thin air, and it's so easily achievable. So this 20-minute walk at least 5 days a week, it's going to be a game changer. And if you feel good about it and want to do more the better. And remember, you cannot out cardio a bad diet, and you cannot out cardio a mid-morning snack. Better nutrition, a better diet plan will always move the needle more than any cardio or strength training movement. But I can't discredit strength training, and I'm not going to force it upon you on this video. I really just want you to move your body a little more. But strength training is extremely crucial. Building muscle helps you increase your metabolic rate, improves bone density, improves longevity. And if this doesn't want to make you strength train, I don't know what will, but muscle burns at least 3 times more calories in your body than fat does. So don't be afraid to put on some muscle. Here are some super easy ways that you can cut out 250 calories a day without even missing it, without even thinking about it. Oil, maybe you use 2 tablespoons, use just 1. You got that vanilla latte at Starbucks, go for a plain latte and maybe a grande instead of a venti. Measure out a 1/4 cup of nuts rather than a big old handful. Try to cut out alcohol. If you have 1 or 2 drinks a night, reduce it to maybe just a Saturday drink, or maybe try to reduce it completely and eliminate it for 21 days and see how you feel. If you're having a lot of processed carbs, breads, biscuits, cookies, pastas, rice, that sort of thing, try to replace it with a non-starchy veggie, one that has a lot of fiber. If you tend to eat out at restaurants a lot, ask for dressing on the side. Perhaps immediately ask for a box and cut your meal in half because they they always give you more than you need. If you want one more tool that I think helps a lot of women, a 12 to 14 hour intermittent fast I think truly helps a great deal. This is not about starvation. You're still having your full meals. It's just condensed into a shorter eating window, and it's not a drastically short window. I'm not asking you to do a 16-8 where you fast for 16 hours and only consume your food in an 8-hour period. This is just 12 to 14 hours. It's very gentle. It really helps the body digest overnight. Think of it as eating your last meal of the day at 7 p.m., like finishing your dinner at 7, having your dessert at that time, and then not eating until 9 or 10 o'clock the next morning. That sounds quite doable. Just think of it as the kitchen is closed. You can't get to it. If you're really craving something after hours, reach for a plain cup of tea, some herbal tea. It'll help you get to sleep as well. Just some extra food for thought, no pun intended. Now for the hard truth, and what we need to stop doing is worrying so much about what the scale says. Because you can weigh the same, change your body comp, and look entirely different. For example, two women, the same height, same weight, let's say a woman 130 pounds, one that has a body fat percentage of 20, very lean, trim, fit, versus another one that has a body fat percentage of 30. The one that has 30% body fat has 13 pounds more body fat on her body, even though they both weigh 130 pounds. Fat is more voluminous than muscle, so even though you weigh the same, the fat is taking up more space and your body would look drastically different. 13 pounds is a lot. So it's not about moving the scale in any direction. It's about body recomposition, losing fat and gaining muscle to build your metabolism, build your strength, and build your overall longevity. Remember, the scale does not tell the full story, so the best way to track is to actually measure your body, focus on your waist circumference and possibly your hip circumference, and see if those numbers move as you go through the 21 days and beyond that. Recapping your 21-day challenge, day 1 through 7, you are going to track all the food and liquid that you are taking into your body. Day 8 through 21, you're going to reduce your calories by 250 to 300 calories per day. You're going to reconfigure your meals to focus on protein first, 25 to 35 grams per meal, with fibrous vegetables on the side and a small carb. You're going to add 20 minutes of walking 5 days a week on top of what you're already doing. If it's nothing, then also make sure that you are standing up and moving as much as possible. And as an option, try that 12 to 14 hour fast. I think it's a great way to let your body digest and sets you up for success the next day. I think this is a great reset challenge, and you're not going to be doing this by yourself. I'm doing it right along with you. I don't teach things I'm not willing to do myself, and when I start to feel sloppy and feel like I've fallen off my routines a little bit, which I most certainly have after the holiday season, and here we are well into February, and I'm just now kind of getting back into my rhythm, but I definitely need a reset. So I'm going to be vlogging to the best of my ability the next couple of weeks, the next few weeks, as we go through this challenge together. You'll see my real life version, what I'm tracking, what I eat, how much I'm walking, and how I'm getting back into my routines. This is accountability together, so let's do this together. And after the 21 days, we'll see how we feel, and we'll continue to build upon our habits at that moment. And to make this process easier for you, I've created a free 21-day reset checklist, and you can sign up by going to the link in the description box below or to the first pinned comment of this video. Please let me know in the comments below if you plan to go forward with this reset along with me. I'd really love to have you on this journey. Remember, midlife is our time to shine brighter than ever, and I can't wait to talk with you in the comments and hear all about the success and momentum that you're building and moving forward. If you have any questions at all about this 21-day reset, please ask me in the comments. I will read every comment that comes my way. Even if you start this and then have questions later, ask them down there. I'm going to go to it and read it, and I will help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon. Bye.